Usually when people say anarchy, they're talking about some kind of big philosophical concept. For me, what? It's more literal.
Hey, everybody. Hannah, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. My friend Christy is back there.
Oh,
so
look
happy.
at that. Congratulations on this show. This is a very highly anticipated show. People love this book series, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Douglas Adams is amazing. So I'm really
Were you a fan beforehand?
I read the book once I got to the part. I didn't know about it before, but our show is actually not really based on the books. It's more inspired by it, so it wasn't super necessary.
So does that make it controversial in any way for those Douglas Adams diehards out there?
I mean, I think so, because a lot of people want the book to be directly adapted, but the thing is you can't really adapt that book. You kind of just have to use the world, so.
Talk to me about your character. She's suffering from a mental illness, right?
Well, it's not really a mental illness. It's an actual, physical disease. It's a nerve disease. But in real life, it's called electrosensitivity, which is a mental illness where, you think lights are attacking you and that sort of thing. But in the show, my character's always put in life or death situations because I believe that I'm drowning or I'm being lit on fire. And so every episode, really, something is trying to kill my body because I'm hallucinating, and my nerves tell me that it's real.
The episode that I saw, it was a drumstick turned into a butcher knife.
Yeah, I had a drum solo, and then my drumsticks basically stabbed my hands till I'm bleeding on the ground.
Are you a drummer?
That was my first day of filming.
That was your first day?
Yeah, yeah.
Was that fun?
It was a little scary because I'm not a drummer, so I had been taking music lessons for 2 weeks beforehand, and that was my first time playing in front of any.
Is Elijah a guitar player?
He's not, but he's freakishly gifted at everything naturally. He'll just we'll be on set and he'll just do 9 pull-ups real quick. I'm like, okay, he can just do everything so easily. So he picked it up in 5 minutes, and drumming took me 2 weeks.
Drumming's difficult.
It's so hard.
Are you going to keep it up?
I would like to. Yeah, I bought an electric kit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, it's hard because you have to isolate your limbs. So it's kind of like tapping your head and rubbing your belly at the same time.
Oh, right, because your foot is keeping the sort of bass beat, and then your hands are doing lots of other things.
Although I
That's how drumming works, everybody. I don't know if you
Wow.
guys.
We're learning so much. No, well, I actually kind of cheated because I didn't have to learn the feet part because the camera was from here up. Otherwise, it would have taken me a lot longer.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you get this part?
Well, Max
Outside of
Landis,
being very
sorry.
talented and deserving of the part.
Thanks. Well, I had been friends with Max Landis, who's the creator of our show, for a few years, and he texted me out of the blue saying that he wrote a part for a character that's exactly like me. And then I got the script, and it was she's sick, she's pale, she's too skinny, she's dying, she sucks. I was wow, thanks, Max. But then the character ended up really cool and awesome and super punk and fun. And but yeah, I still had to audition. And I went through all the auditioning rounds, and I did a screen test on Skype. And
What is a screen test on Skype like?
I was supposed to read with Elijah in person because Elijah Wood plays my brother, and we were going to have a chemistry read together, but I was in New York and I couldn't make it, so I did it over Skype, and it's really hard to have chemistry over Skype.
Yeah.
So
often it's glitchy.
Yeah, it was super glitchy. It kept pausing. They kept being your head's cut off, or we only see from here down, or whatever, because I was moving around a lot, but, it ended up working out, so.
No, that's really great.
Yeah.
So the show, how many episodes are in the first season of the show?
It's just 8 episodes, but I believe our first episode is movie length. It's a little bit longer.
Right. I watched the first episode. It was about an hour, I think.
I think it's an hour, but with commercials, it's probably
Oh yeah, that's true. It's probably about an hour and a half with commercials.
Yeah, it's laying a lot of groundwork, so.
So the show is already shot, right? Everything is shot and ready to be aired. You sort of shot it the way that people are doing a lot of television shows these days.
Yeah, we shot it. We didn't have a pilot, really. We just did a first season, which was really lucky. We didn't have to wait to find out if we were picked up. But yeah, we just shot 8 episodes in Vancouver, and we finished about a month ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now I had listened to interviews with the creator, Max Landis, your friend, who had in interviews talks about like how much work it was to sort of put this thing on as the showrunner. What was it like? What did you notice? What was it like for him while he was doing this?
I mean, he was wearing many hats. He basically had to do everything. Like he was doing the wardrobe practically. Like he was there every single day, and we would be in production and he was still writing the episodes. So he was having to write and be on set and be in post-production at the same time. So he was essentially doing pre-production, production, and post-production all at once.
And you're a writer and director yourself, right? You've written a feature, you directed a short.
Yeah, I just actually directed my second short for this Sundance competition. I'm really competitive, so I hope I win. So go vote for me right now.
So it's in a Sundance competition right now?
Yeah, it's called Sundance Ignite, and the website's sundanceignite2016.com. I'm just going to plug this real quick. So
plug it.
Everyone vote for me online.
Vote for
I'm
Hannah.
in first place right now, so I really want to win.
What is your short film about?
This one is about college tuition and just how ridiculous it is. It's like about the ups and downs of trying to get into a good school, and then you finally get into the school of your dreams, and it's like, $70,000. So it's about that, and it's like also kind of a parody of like Sundance coming of age movies. Like it's kind of making fun of all those films. Like I dressed my lead character like in red glasses and a red turtleneck. And,
A quirky girl.
Yeah, quirky girl. It's like, and then there's like a scene of talking about sexual consent in college, and this like frat guy's like, all guys ask for consent, and like I'm just making fun of the whole institution essentially.
Do you feel like you're learning a lot when you're on set and you're watching someone like Max who's writing and sort of show running and wearing lots of hats? Is that a great opportunity for you to have a friend that's doing that stuff?
Definitely, because I didn't get into acting necessarily because I love acting. I got into acting because I love movies. So just any opportunity to get to watch people that are great at their job is really amazing. And I would go on set a lot of times, even when I wasn't working, just to watch everything and shadow the directors and stuff.
What movie would you say is your greatest influence right now? I feel like everybody has, like no one has kind of a favorite movie. It's like your favorite movie right now.
Changes like every day. I mean, I don't know. I love Catch Me If You Can. I think that's amazing. The Social
Spielberg
Network.
movie with DiCaprio?
Yeah.
It's a very fun movie.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I've watched it so many times. It's so good. And I love The Social Network.
Extremely watchable. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you again, but now I'm on a Catch Me If You Can
It's one of
process
those
in my
movies
brain.
that you could see it on TV and it's in the middle and you're going to watch it through the end. Same with Almost Famous, I feel like.
Exactly. I was just going to say, like Almost Famous. Like Almost Famous and maybe like Goodfellas or something. Like
Goodfellas, oh my God.
Throw it on and let's
go. I
go.
have such a Ray Liotta crush.
You have a Ray Liotta crush?
Yeah. And Steve Buscemi. Those are my two.
Let's soak this in for a second. Ray Liotta and Steve Buscemi. So sociopaths.
And Jon Stewart
generally.
and Trevor Noah.
Okay, so sociopaths and political comedians.
Yep.
That's where you go.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else. I like Shaquille O'Neal.
That is not true. That's just an outlier that you
No,
threw in
it's
there.
absolutely true. He was my first celebrity crush.
Because of Shazam?
No, because I used to watch the Lakers with my dad. So I had like Shaq posters in my room and stuff.
What did your dad think of? Was your dad like, okay?
I think he probably blocked it out. I'm not really sure. Yeah.
So not because of Shazam. Bummer.
I don't remember Shazam. Was Shazam a thing?
Shazam was his movie where he played a genie.
Oh, right. No, I did like that.
Yeah.
I did. I was thinking about it recently. I was like, why was Shaq my first crush? And then I saw him recently on Jimmy Kimmel or something. I was like, no, he's still got it.
He's very charming.
He's so charming. And he's also like a cop on the side.
He is not a cop.
He's absolutely a cop. Look it up.
Is he like one of those like Steven Seagal style cops where he's like
he's
been
like a real
deputized?
cop in Florida. He's like just does that.
I don't buy it.
I don't know, but it's sexy. Have you Googled him and his wife? She's like 4'11".
I did. I have seen that. That's very funny.
I'm like,
you
I have
a
a
chance.
shot.
Yeah, you had a chance, Hannah.
I'm really sorry that I brought us on this tangent.
No, so you're a writer and a director, and you wrote. We're talking about the short film that you wrote and directed, but you also wrote a feature film called Eskimo Sisters that's been optioned. When did you realize that you were a writer, or that you could write and wanted to be a writer?
I mean, I think I did the same thing that probably every writer does, is I wrote about my high school breakup as my first thing. And
Is that Eskimo Sisters?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I was Eskimo Sisters with a girl that was dating my boy. Does everyone know what Eskimo Sisters is?
What is
You know, okay,
You know what Eskimo Sisters is.
Eskimo Sisters isn't actually a thing. It's Eskimo Brothers, which I think was a term coined from the League, maybe, which is like two guys that went in the same igloo.
Oh, I got ya.
Two guys hooked up with the same girl. So, so Eskimo Sisters is about.
You were smiling so much when you were nodding at me.
Yeah.
You asked, does anyone know what that is? And it was just him going, yeah.
Yup. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a story about two girls that become friends despite dating the same guy.
Oh, okay. And this is what happened to you in high school.
Yeah, we like had a secret little friendship. And
Did you ever fight about it?
Yeah.
Fist fight?
Not physically, no. I mean, the script ended up totally being fiction, but that's what it was inspired by.
So what was your process like adapting that essentially into fiction, taking this kernel of an idea that happened in your real life and sort of expanding it into a feature screenplay?
I mean, the hardest thing was to separate myself from my real life, because my real life doesn't play out like a movie. So just kind of learning how to write structure and dialogue and make it make sense to someone who didn't go to my high school. And also just trying to write something that feels honest for young women, because it's so rare. I mean, other than Max Landis, not many people are doing that. Like, there's no Superbad for girls, which I think is insane. I mean, there's Broad City and there's Bridesmaids, but those are the older age group. There's no one that's my age or a little younger that is talking super honestly and talking about sex. It's really rare.
Mean Girls, maybe.
Mean Girls, sure, yeah.
Maybe.
But like even that, it's like doesn't really go into anything super in depth. It's a great movie, but it's not the most honest. It's just a comedy. I don't know.
How long did it take you to write the script?
I wrote the whole thing in one night. But then I spent 2 years rewriting it because it was a train wreck.
You wrote it like a rough draft.
Super. I mean, in my first rough draft, Woody Allen was my best friend. And he was like my imaginary friend, that I hung out with, and he helped me like get through life. And
is that based off of real life? Did you have Woody Allen as an imaginary friend when you were in high school?
No. I mean, I wish, but
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I was named after Hannah and her sisters, so...
My favorite Woody Allen movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. But then when I first sent out the script, it was right during that whole, like, scandal of, Mia Farrow talking. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't send out a script where he's talking to a teenage girl the whole movie.
Or maybe you should.
People were like, we really liked it, but why is Woody Allen in it? You're never going to get him. Like, I had this fantasy of, like, I don't know, getting an impersonator, like a cartoonist to draw him like Lizzie McGuire style.
Or like Val Kilmer as Elvis in True Romance. Or
exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, could Woody Allen be played by Sarah Silverman? Or I don't know. I was living in dream world, but
that would be amazing. That's actually
would be,
incredible.
Right? Yeah. But I ended up just rewriting that completely because it was, self-indulgent.
So it took you 2 years to rewrite. Talk a little bit about that process, because I love talking to writers, because I think people imagine that screenplays are written quickly, or because you can watch them you can watch a movie in an hour and a half. People imagine that they're written fairly quickly, and it takes years to sort of hone them into something taut and interesting and even readable at times.
Definitely. I mean, I can see why people say their indie films take 10 years to get off the ground, because this one has already almost been 5 years. I wrote it when I was 18 and I'm 23 now. Wow. Thankfully, we're about to make it finally, because I don't know how much longer I can play a teenager.
So you're gonna be the main character.
Oh yeah,
That's great.
I get to play myself, which is pretty cool.
Who's directing it?
That is what we're figuring out. It's been through quite a few different people, so we'll see what it ends up being. We're going in January.
After it got optioned, has there been a development process with it where you've been sort of rewriting it with your producers and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it got put on hold because of Dirk, because I really wanted to do Dirk Gently, and then things changed around. But everyone's given a lot of different notes. It's evolved a lot. Like when I first wrote it, the main character was an actress because I couldn't separate myself from it. So it's just taken a long time to figure out what would be the most effective. So like now my character works at a movie theater, and it's like inspired by the same feelings, but it's just more universal.
Right, more relatable.
I don't think like being a child actor is super relatable. So,
But I think
had to change
maybe not super relatable, but I think fascinating for people. I think people are generally curious about child stardom and child actors and actresses.
Yeah, I mean, being a child actor kind of sucks.
Does it?
I don't know. I started acting at 11, so I kind of wish I started later. So puberty wasn't on Google.
But isn't it kind of, don't you feel like, I always find that what child actors have, for the most part, not all, that a lot of actors don't have that are around the age of like 20, 22, when they sort of really try to get into acting, is just a natural comfort in front of the camera. Like, because you started at a young age, you have you can focus on everything outside of just feeling comfortable in front of the camera.
Totally, yeah. I had zero awareness when I was little. I just did stuff because it was fun and I wasn't nervous and there wasn't any fear of the camera or anything like that. So there's definitely the pros and cons to it. But
did you ever develop a sense of awareness that sort of stopped you?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's been so many bad auditions that make you think, I want to quit or like, why am I doing this? And then you just get over it and you get back on the horse.
Like when you were 16 and like every other teenager were sort of horrified by yourself, or like, wait, I'm on camera for the world to see?
Totally. Like when I was 15 and I went to a school for the first time because I was homeschooled, and at the time I was also doing that show Weeds, and I played a character at 15 who was like having threesomes and had gonorrhea. Can I say gonorrhea? Anyway, so I was playing like a pretty.
Actually, gonorrhea is the one word we don't allow on this thing. Everything else is okay. Gonorrhea is.
Sorry. So yeah, I was like 15 playing this pretty naughty character on Weeds, and then I was also going to school, and it was, that stuff's kind of embarrassing, especially at the time. I didn't know what gonorrhea was, so.
Did your classmates had they been?
Yeah, some of them had seen it. Yeah. So.
Did they bring it up to you?
Yeah.
What did they say?
I don't remember. I think it's one of those things where you just kind of freeze and you cringe, and it makes you wonder why you're doing what you're doing. Like there's been a lot of times when I just wish I did the whole normal high school thing and went to prom, and
you probably would have gotten made fun of just as much as the rest of us.
It's true. I think school is terrible. That's why I made my short about the problems with college. I think school can be a really hard thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's so weird that other teenagers would make fun of teenagers who are acting in TV and movies, because it's like, well, what are you doing? I'm going to school and I'm doing this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I cheated a lot of my way through high school, so I can't really, I was always like Yahoo Answers and like copy and pasting like the science question. Like I wasn't super academic.
Well, I wasn't acting in movies and I still did that too, so.
Oh, thank you.
Let's open it up to the audience for some questions. Right here.
Hi, good morning. Which actor and movie director would you like to work with in the future?
Ooh, that's a good question. I really love Greg Araki. Have you seen the movie Mysterious Skin? Oh, yeah. I don't know why that just popped out.
Because he's amazing.
He's amazing. He's incredible.
Do you like his films before because Mysterious Skin is when he kind of changes a little bit, his style.
Oh, like Doom Generation? Yeah, Doom Generation was awesome.
Doom Generation, Nowhere, Totally Fucked Up, The Living End.
Oh, damn, you're like Greg Araki expert.
I'm a big Greg Araki fan.
He did, I did like the Sundance Writer-Director Labs a couple years ago, and he was one of our advisors. So I became pretty obsessed with him after that. Yeah, so I'd love to work with him. And then actors, I mean, that's hard. I mean, I really like Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's cool.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing.
There's so many good people. I love just working with Elijah, honestly. Like, that's good for now.
And that must be so interesting working with Elijah. I mean, because you're a child actor, he's a child actor, but at this point, he has so much experience in terms of how to like, not behave is the wrong word, but how to kind of command a set, walk into a scene, probably know how to nail it, and walk out of there pretty quickly and keep the day going.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's just the nicest guy ever. He's so professional. He can do everything in his sleep. I've never seen him mess up a single take. Like, everything is super easy for him, and he's always so good. And he also produces, so he understands the whole behind-the-camera thing, too.
Yeah. And he produces some great movies as well. Next question.
Hey, Hannah. What advice would you give to young writers, and what's your go-to karaoke song?
Advice to young writers is exactly what I was just talking about before, like be as honest as possible. And I know it's cliche, but they say write what you know, and I think that's true because if you're being honest and specific, I think it will ultimately be more relatable and universal. Like, if you think of Breaking Bad, that's a pretty unique, specific topic. I mean, it's a teacher that sells meth, but everyone related to it because it was told so honestly. So I think just, writing what you feel. And then my go-to karaoke song. I refuse to do karaoke because I'm such a hideous singer. I wouldn't put anyone through that. So I'm sorry.
Have you ever done it before though? And had because I've done karaoke a couple times, and there was the last time that was like, no more. Like, I'm not even gonna try this. I've tried a couple times and that's it.
Honestly, I have this fantasy of doing karaoke as being like the scene with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson in Lost in Translation, like where they're wearing like wigs and they're in Tokyo, and it's never like that. Like, it's not, it's just like a bunch of drunk people in a room and they think they sound good and they don't, and I just avoid it, to be honest.
Good call. I think we have time for one more question. Hey.
Hello. I wanted to know what other movie, what other book adaptation would you like to be a part of if it was to become a movie or a television series?
Well, I'm actually doing one right now. That's why I'm blonde. There was this book called Almost Home by Jessica Blank that I had been in love with since I was 16, and now I'm making the movie version of it. We're about to start filming.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's an amazing, amazing story. So I'm pretty lucky.
And Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency is coming out Saturday, October 22nd at 9.
So it says.
So it says. Very excited. Hannah, thanks so much for being here. It's been a pleasure
Thank you for
talking to
having
you.
me.
Thank you. Yeah, of course.